So good Sunday evening, glory be to God. So I've heard people say, follow your heart so many times. And the way I look at it, there could be a good thing and it can be a bad thing, right? It could be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. In the bad, on the bad side, right? When people tell you to follow your heart, sometimes that is not good advice, because what's in your heart all the time is not what's good for you. It typically means that you are being led by your emotion, and you already know we're all grown. Sometimes we have those emotions for a certain thing or a certain person, but that does not mean that that thing or that person is good for us. So in those instances, no, it is not good to follow your heart, because you know in the long run it's going to lead you somewhere that you don't want to be. Glory be to God. It's going to lead you on a path that you don't want to be on. And once the longer we stay in those type of things, right, once again, it's going to take you on a ride. So that's why I say it can be good in a way and it can be bad in a way. And in those cases, that is the bad way. Now, it can be good in a way too, right? Because sometimes God can be nudging on your heart, glory be to God, to do things, right? God can be nudging on your heart to do things. How will you know if God nudging on your heart? That's why you got to get in the presence of God, right? Yes, it's good to follow your heart, especially when leading to Jesus Christ. Sometimes God nudges on our heart. He has been nudging on our hearts for the longest, right? In that case, of course, you follow your heart. In those cases like that, you follow your heart. If it's on your heart to do something good, to help somebody, glory be to God, of course, you do those things. That's good, being led by those emotions. Those are positive emotions. But when you're being led by negative emotion, once again, the evidence is all there. You know this thing or this particular person ain't good for you, and yet you're still following this advice, this worldly advice, telling you, well, oh girl, you only live once. Follow your heart. Follow your heart. Oh, dude, you only live once. Follow your heart. When you know deep down within you, inside of you, that you don't need to follow those emotions, because you know the current state that those emotions already have you in. So that's why I say it can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. The word tells us in Jeremiah 17:9, glory be to God, that the heart is deceitful and desperately wicked, and who could know it? That's why I say you can't be led by your heart all the time. You cannot, once again, positive thing, yes, negative, no. Because we know sometimes we let things take root in our heart. Those negative emotions, that's what I'm talking about. Those, if you're feeding on negative emotions, then no, don't follow your heart. That's why it tells us to guard our heart above all else, because everything we do flows from it. Meaning, don't let nothing get in your heart. That's why I always say, when something or someone, when someone has offended you or done something to you, if you taken offense, if you got any unforgiveness in your heart, any anger, whatever the case may be, don't brush that stuff off. Deal with it right then and there. Pray. Ask God. Ask God to help you let go of all that stuff. Because if you don't, the longer it stay there, it's going to take root. And once it take root, once again, you're going to be led by your emotions instead of spiritually led, right? So no, don't follow your heart. What you do is you get down and pray, and you ask God for guidance and direction, and that is what you follow. That is what you follow. You follow your heart when you know God has told you to do this specific thing. Okay, I want you to do this and I want you to do that. I want you to let go of this and I want you to let go of that. That's what we follow after. God's nudging, direction and guidance. All right. Seek God in your decision making. Because once again, being led by emotions, going to lead you somewhere or to something or to someone that in the long run you're going to regret. So that's the word. Stop listening to the advice talking about following your heart unless you know, glory be to God, that is God nudging you and put something on your heart or then put somebody on your heart. And you gonna know that because we all know God ain't finna tell you to go in a direction where you know you ain't supposed to be going in anyway. We know right from wrong, okay? So until next time, like I always say, glory be to God, glory be to God, glory be to God. Come on now, why? Because he is worthy, right? I love you, but I can never love you as much as God the Father and our Lord Jesus Christ. Get in the presence of God if you don't know him. Get to know him, getting you a good Bible-based church. Know that word for yourself. Get you a prayer life, people. We need to pray. The enemy is on the prowl. The enemy is on the prowl. That's one of the reasons, another reason why we're being led by our emotion, because we're listening to the voices that the enemy is telling us, okay? The enemy, even if it ain't in your head, if somebody comes to you and tell you, oh, follow your heart, and they know this person ain't good for you or this thing ain't good for you, you only live one. That's the devil. The devil sent them. Don't listen to that mess when you know what predicament you are already in. That's the devil. Rebuke him. Say, get thee behind me, Satan. Get thee behind me, Satan. And like I said, get down on your knees and pray and let God, you hear me? Let God guide, direct you, okay? Lead you, okay? Get in the presence of God. I firmly believe we are living in the end times, people. We need to know God, because when we leave here, we got to give an account for what we did here on this earth. And if we're not living for God, if we're not obeying him, we're not living by his principles, people, you can't live any type of way. And we won't make it. We just won't make it, people. Yes, we have grace, but if you out there sinning deliberately and you know the truth, then you know the truth. You don't have no excuse if you know the truth. That's in the word. And Jesus said they would have an excuse if I didn't come in and preach to them, and they didn't see the signs and miracles and wonders I was doing, didn't hear the word, they would have an excuse. But now that they've heard and saw, then they don't have no excuse. So we don't have no excuse. We heard the gospel of our salvation and we know the truth and we've rejected it, then that's on us. That's why I say, people, get in the presence of God. That is your responsibility, no one else. Until next time, you stay strong, blessed, and encouraged, people. Get in the presence of God. Let's keep praying for each other, with each other, and over each other. Glory be to God. Until next time, you stay strong, blessed, and encouraged. Bye-bye. I love you.